Most your Leica enthusiasts are gonna wax poetic about the shutter sound of the film Leicas, or if they're digital enthusiasts, they're gonna be really, really impressed with the new M10, M10P, M10R, even quieter, I hear, or don't hear, they say. But the shutter sound on the M240, I really, really, really started to just really adore. I don't know. It's not noteworthy in any sense, but it's, to my ear anyway, a really, really lovely sound. I don't know. It's got a little bit of a clack and a scissor sound. I don't know. But I love it. So anyway, walk around town camera, take a lot of photographs of my hometown, Nampa, Idaho, which I post on Instagram with the hashtag #BeautifulNampa. Oh, got another nick in the paint. Yep, got it pretty good. It's okay. Cameras, even expensive ones, are for using, not for decoration. I've been trying to wake up an hour earlier every day than I normally do and spend that extra hour, actually put a timer on my phone for 60 minutes and spend that 60 minutes just reading an actual physical book. Currently I'm on the documentary Impulse by Stuart Franklin, famous photographer of the Tiananmen Square man standing in front of a tank. Really, really excellent book. Kind of has a nice cover as well. It's a book really about the philosophy of photography, nothing about any technique or only a little bit about history, but really the philosophy of what makes a photographer want to snap that shutter. So really interesting book. I'm only a little ways into it this week, but so far highly recommend it. The book that I did finish this week in my first couple days of the Waking Up Early, it's a pretty thin book, is the Strugatsky Brothers' Roadside Picnic. There is almost nothing in common between this book and the film Stalker, 1979, Tarkovsky. One of my all-time favorite films, easy to find on YouTube if you want to watch it, Stalker. Excellent film. I don't know if it was an excellent book or not. I don't know. I've been trying to think about what it is that I actually thought about this book, because it's a really interesting book. The premise: in this unnamed country, there's this zone where the government has blocked it off, so you can't go into it. And there's these people called stalkers that go into the zone, find little things and bring them back out and to sell them on a black market. Like, I got the impression that he pretty much hated it and that he was only doing it because he needed the money and it was a good way to make a lot of money. I wouldn't say he's an unsympathetic character, but I didn't find him a likable character at all, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think there's any real reason that a character in a work of fiction has to be likable. So our stalker in the book, I think, hates the zone. He goes into the zone. We see 3 episodes in the book where he goes into the zone, only 2 really where it describes anything in the zone. The second episode is more of his immediate exit from the zone with another stalker and the aftermath of that. In the film, it's kind of flip-flopped. In the film, the stalker meets up with a couple of people who he's going to guide into the zone. And the reason that he takes people into the zone is they want to get to the room. And the room in this room is supposed to grant anybody's, most sincerest wish of their heart, their heart's desire. Something to that effect. Both the book and the film leave a lot of things just unspecified. Things are hinted at, things are kind of spoken of in passing. People refer to other people or things, it's kind of cool. I like that. A lot of implication and not a lot of explicit description. Because that's the other weird thing about the book. There are zombies in the book. Not your traditional flesh-eating zombies, but the other odd effect of the zone is that the dead come back to life. So I was thinking, what does it all mean? What does the film mean? I've seen the film many, many times. One of my favorite films. And I guess what I've always sort of taken away from it is that, I mean, it's a long movie. It's a 2 hour, 45-minute movie. Look, just look at this. It is 161 minutes. So we're talking 2 hours, 41 minutes. A long movie in which essentially nothing happens. Like in the modern sense of film, not a lot going on there. The 3 guys go for a walk could be the plot description of this movie. Thinking about the film versus the book and trying to think of like what is the theme of this, or what is the author or the filmmaker in this case trying to say, and I just couldn't come up with anything really coherent or seemingly intelligent. Perhaps the book was about capitalism, maybe, I thought, because it was written in Soviet Russia, but that didn't really work out, because I mean there's a good argument there that like the zone is this thing that our character has to go and interact with, but everybody who interacts with it ends up getting fabulously rich and or destroyed by it, usually both, which is a good analogy for capitalism. It's pretty much a necessity in modern life. It'll pretty much kill you. You're going to work till you're dead. But you could get fabulously rich. You never know. But are the costs really worth it? That's the question. Maybe that the book is phrasing a little bit. Maybe not. In the film, the stalker loves the zone. He adores it. He wants to be there all the time. He'd rather be there than with his wife and kid, is the impression that you get. At one point in the film, he even says he wishes that he could bring his wife and child and just live in the zone all the time and never leave it. In interviews I've read, Tarkovsky said the zone doesn't symbolize anything. He said that it's just a zone, which I think is bullshit. I haven't read his book. I have it in the stack over there to read, Sculpting in Time. But from interviews I've read of him, he's an odd dude, and a lot of his ideas I think are a little weird, or maybe he's just playing with us, like maybe in a David Lynchian sort of way, just kind of not wanting to talk about his films, and so he'll like put out some wild, weird statement, which off the top of my head I can't think of any crazy ones of David Lynch, but David Lynch, if you read a lot of interviews with him, he'll just say, about Eraserhead, it'd be like, I was reading the Bible and I saw this bit and I was like, yeah, that's what Eraserhead is, but he won't tell you that. He won't tell you what party it was reading or anything like that. So what if the zone is like the creative life or the art life, or like for Tarkovsky it would be cinema, for the Strugatskys perhaps it would be writing, creativity, or the act of creativity, or trying to live as an artist, that was kind of what the zone was. And so like, whereas Tarkovsky loved it and wished he could always be in cinema or make cinema or do the things, perhaps that was his wrestling with critics and government and people that would, in his mind, perhaps stand in the way of cinema or his pursuit of cinema. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like you said, maybe the zone is nothing, it's just a zone. That was my week. Walking around taking pictures, reading books, thinking about movies. Loved the film, liked the book pretty well. So, check it out. Roadside Picnic. Definitely check out Stalker. Like I said, streaming on the Criterion Collection or this excellent Blu-ray. Hopefully everybody's staying socially distant as I am. That's why I'm coming to you from this sweet office, tiny office in my upstairs of my falling apart house. Next week, perhaps we'll talk about more film stuff or photo stuff. I don't know. Been talking to some people about working on actually a creative project, so a creative video project. So hopefully some news coming up soon for that. It'd be nice because, like I said, I've had big plans for 2020, all of which evaporated immediately in a cloud of coronavirus. And so this is kind of my only creative outlet besides photography at the moment. Not terribly creative yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make this whole vlogging thing sort of work, maybe, if I practice. Don't know if this was interesting or entertaining or enlightening, but if you like it, there'll be more next week, so we'll see you Tuesday.